They're going to get gold, but they've got Rikko Gross, Frank Look, Svend Fischer, and their newcomer, Michael Grice, who's absolutely taken the World Cup by storm. He's a youngster. He's been trained by Fritz Fischer down in Ruhpolding, and he's a man to watch out for. I can't find his number. There he is, number 51. So just make a little note of that, because he could be a man to watch. Just getting the trigger pressure, sorry David, but the trigger pressure being checked there, and we've had a number of emails through saying what is the trigger pressure? Well, it's actually half a kilo, 500 grams. Any lighter than that and they'll be sent packing with the rifle to either readjust it or step out of the race.
Ludwig Gredler, and Gredler in good form.
Well, the Austrians are all flying. They've been going very well all season, and Christoph Suman in particular. Wolfgang Rottmann hasn't had quite such a good season, but I think Gredler could be the man. I think his best chance, to be honest, went in the individual race. He finished in 11th, a very good performance, but he missed 2 on his first visit to the range, and that cost him a medal. In fact, if he'd gone clear, then Gredler would have taken the silver behind Bjorndalen, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, but he is a man who's got a very good record. I mean, this is his 4th Olympic Games, and in that time he's had 8 top 20 finishes, which makes you always put him on your list to watch out for. But with Bjorndalen, still a thought there. I mean, he's the defending champion. It's just that little extra piece of pressure, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't happen very often that a champion defends their title.
Well, you say that, but you've also got to look at the positive side and say, well, he's wrapped up 1 gold already, and the pressure is off. We certainly think that that's the case with Magdalena Forsberg. She's got a medal, and now she can relax and go for gold. But Bjorndalen, I think, has got a lot of pressure by the fact that he's the last favourite to start. And if he's in a situation on the range where if he hits all 5, he can win, I certainly wouldn't envy him, and it may well turn out to be that way. Svend Fischer, well, here is the master of biathlon. He's been around for years and years. He's won the World Cup. He's been second on more occasions. And welcome back to Soldier Hollow in ideal conditions for this men's 10-kilometre sprint. They go first today. The women's sprint event coming on later on. Well, the favourites, David, spread right throughout the field. It's interesting to see that they've chosen different groups today, obviously thinking that the weather's either going to do different things, or maybe the likes of Fischer and Gross just decided they wanted to get out on the course and reduce the pressure by going early and setting a target for those who come later.
Well, we've talked about Svend Fischer. You were very sweet on the chances of Frode Andreasen, and everything was looking as if it was going great in the 20-kilometre individual. Might he be another man to make amends?
Well, it's got to be understood that the shooting in the sprint event isn't as critical as it is in the standing. There's a difference of around 0.7% for each mistake you make. And so the faster skiers do tend to be favoured, but you're still going to have to shoot certainly 8 out of 10, probably 9 out of 10, and if any of the top 6 favourites go clear, then they're likely to take this one. You look at your Poirets, your Rostovtsevs, your Grosses, Lux, Fischers. There's a list of around 7 or 8 of them, and the Norwegians, though, are the 2 fastest. So Bjorndalen and Andresen start every sprint event with a chance of winning.
Here's Svend Fischer in that characteristic style, a shot drop there by Gredler, which means he's spinning his way around the penalty loop, 150 metres, which takes, depending on the penalty loop and its condition, about 30 seconds.
Well, they've been getting faster and faster. Yeah. We clocked Rostovtsev at 21.5 seconds earlier in the season, and I tell you what, they'll be round this one like lightning, especially after the second standing shoot, if they're in with a chance. And the very fact that Bjorndalen goes so late on in this event is going to keep this race alive right to the last minute. So the win, nothing too problematic. 1 metre per second it was recorded at. What's that? 60 metres a minute, just over 3.5 kilometres an hour. So nothing. If you're a sailor, you'll know that that's not going to get you far.
Yeah, and again, the other nice thing at the stadium today, very good light, and so conditions really on the range should make for no excuses.
Well, it's been so good, hasn't it? I think all the biathletes are just keeping their fingers crossed that the forecast change. There is a low due to sweep over this part of America, and they're just hoping it doesn't happen. But if it does, it's going to make the final two biathlon races very interesting indeed. The pursuit to come after this event, the sprint, and then, of course, the relays.
So here's the man from Ruhpolding, and he's pretty good at the sprint, Rikko Gross. Just settling down now. You can see Gredler's time. He's the early pace setter, but he missed a shot.
He's had 2 top 10 results in the 4 sprint events so far this year. And that's a very good start from Rikko Gross, and Frank Ulrich likes it. There's a former Olympic gold medalist himself, now the German coach. And Gross, if he can set a good time, then he really does put pressure on his main rivals, Pore, Bjorndalen and Andresen.
Well, that's right, because he's got 3 gold medals for being a member of the German relay team, but he's also got, frustratingly, 2 silver sprint medals from 92 and 94. So he would really like that individual gold. And he's been such a good servant, as has Svend Fischer, that you can't rule him out. Now, Rotman, who you were a bit cautious about his chances.
Well, I think he had such a tremendous day 2 years ago in Holmenkollen, took us all by surprise. He's had problems with the shooting this year, and you just can't afford to drop the shots like he's been doing. Starting number 23.
And he's going to be doing a penalty loop, exactly the same as Ludwig Gredler, his teammate, I'm afraid.
Well, it's his standing shoot, unfortunately, that's been his problem this year, so doesn't look good for Rotman. Ludwig Gredler, another missed shot in the standing, so 2 penalty loops, approximately 50 seconds. What we'll do, David, is when we get one of the faster skiers on the loop, we'll time it just to find out exactly what how much time it's taking.
I was just going to keep an eye
here
on...
goes Rotman. No, it's Gredler, in fact, going on. There's not many faster than him.
So Gredler going 18:30, so we're just keeping up well.
37:38, so yeah, watch that. And here is one of the fastest men. Майгуров has gone clear on his prone. Now, he'll certainly be putting pressure on...
This was the man who was frustratingly 4th in the sprint in Nagano, Майгуров.
Now, we talk about the Germans and Norwegians and the Russians a lot, David. Just while we're watching Майгуров head off round the loop, I'll just run through some of the other countries that could surprise us. Certainly the Czech Republic. They've got the likes of Zdeněk Vítek, who unfortunately was injured in a car crash just before heading out to Solt-Lейk-City. But who knows, a miraculous recovery. His knee does seem to have settled, but he's certainly worth a watch. And then Durchak from the Ukraine. He's starting number 16, or is it 18? My eyesight's going in. It's number 16. The Durchak goes off, and he's a man who occasionally produces flashes of brilliance. Now, have a look at Rikko Gross. There's the first mistake. But 9 out of 10 could be good enough to take the title. He's gone with 9.
Could be good enough, well, if not the title, perhaps for a medal.
Certainly he's fast enough to do that.
So Gross coming up to the penalty loop. Also need to...
Now, we may follow Gross all the way round, because this is absolutely crucial. So we could get a check here.
In at 18:10, just about.
No. Now, Рафаэль Пуаре, how is the former World Cup leader? He's lost his lead in the World Cup due to his result in the individual race. Now, you may find it strange. Out comes Rikko Gross at 18:34. What did he go in at? 18:10.
24 seconds. Well,
23 to 24.
Yeah. So you're exactly right. He's certainly one of the faster men. But looks to be certainly an extreme, as you would expect, a very well prepared and a very well positioned penalty loop, because it's really good for the fans. They can actually see all the action and you know, take part in it, which is excellent. Again, it's another reason why I hope this stadium is really going to become a legacy in years to come.
Now, here's a big moment for Germany. Svend Fischer has gone clear. His teammate, Rikko Gross, 18:34. You can see for yourselves that he's got an age of time to get inside that. But if Sven goes clear, then he could be heading for Olympic glory. Needs 5, though. to be a real contender for gold. There's the first miss. It's gone left. Must get the remaining two. Oh, nervous stuff from Svend Fischer, but he's quick. He is very quick. He should be well clear of Rikko Gros, who's the current leader after 2 shoots. That's to the final shoot, of course, in this sprint event. And have a look at the clock. 18:34, remember the target time. Another 24 seconds onto that. And Svend Fischer could be out in around 18, between 18:15 and 18:20.
And again, it's just worth emphasising, he's been a relay gold medalist, which they value, the Germans, very highly. But he's got a bronze in the sprint. But this is the medal that he really wants, an individual gold.
Look at that time, 18 seconds the lead. Svend Fischer with the same amount of penalties as Rikko Gros. He is going to take the lead when he crosses the finish line. As Gros not going so well on the first lap. Now, Pawel Rostowczew, he's won more medals than anyone else in the last 2 World Championships, and don't rule him out of success here. Poiret clear on the prone, and he's coming out 7:42. Svend Fischer's time. I think Poiret is going to, he certainly won't be more than half a second behind it, but it's going to be very, very close between them. And in fact, Poiret has the lead. 1 second's advantage, and the Frenchman could be making up for his mistakes in the individual race. Did a little calculation on the ski speed for all those involved in the men's individual. Bjørndalen, obviously the fastest. Frude Andrason was 35 seconds slower. Rikko Gros 50 seconds behind Bjørndalen. Poiret 1:49 lost over the 20 kilometres. Halve that and you get, what, 54 seconds? So he can't afford a mistake in the range on the second visit.
Bit of bad news for British fans. I'm afraid Patrick Mark G, through the first visit of the range, 2 shots dropped. So 2 penalty loops skied, but clean at the second visit to the range. So better standing than prone, but as you said, you can't afford to be giving shots away like that.
Well, all the British team are losing around 7 to 10% on ski time. If they want an impressive result, they have got to go clear. That's absolutely paramount. Mark G started number 7 of the other British competitors. Just quickly while we watch Frank Luck go round, Mike Dixon started 53, and Jason Sklenner once again getting a call up, number 61. Hugh Pritchard left on the bench again for this one, but he will be taking part in the relay. And more about Hugh later on.
So there's a marker for us. Gredler home in 26:04 despite 2 penalty loops. So that's a good 50 seconds added to his time. Now Rostowczew,
world champion, of course, in this sprint discipline. Now he's gone clear, and that's good news. And just hearing a story about Rostowczew, he was brought in for a doping control prior to the individual race, and apparently it all went wrong, and blood was spurting everywhere. They estimated he'd lost over half a pint of blood, and that was just before the race. So Rostowczew, a little unlucky in that circumstance, and I wonder what comeback they'll get from that.
Here's Fischer using that high tempo up this hill now, and you can see there that one shot. I just wonder how expensive that's going to be.
Well, I can tell you, 26 seconds. He's extended his lead by 10 seconds over Rikko Gros. He is on a mission here, and well, it's very early days, but I fancy Sven for another medal. I haven't seen him ski like this all season, and it would be a very, very popular one in Germany. Here comes Rikko Gros, his teammate. What can he produce?
Well, he's 25 minutes 20. He's going to get ahead of Gredler to set a new best time. But as you said, he's gone very early, and that's going to give them a really good guide, the German team. Still, of course, the likes of Andreasen to get going. Perner, one of the later Austrians. Hannevald of Norway. Bjørndalen, 81. Last man will be Ryschenkov of Belarus.
I was interested, David, to see that the German team living with all the other biathletes in the hotel in Midway. and only, 3 or 4 miles from the stadium here in Soldier Hollow, whereas some of the other teams have elected to find their own accommodation and stay away from the pressure. But I think it's commendable that the Germans are joining in the spirit.
This is not going well for Roscoff. That is 450 metres for the man from Murmansk, and his chance has disappeared within 60 seconds.
Well, not only that, but his chance of getting a medal in the pursuit race, of course, has gone as well, because the pursuit, the starting order based on the results of this sprint run. Rotman, another miss, and he's skiing well, in fact. He's already done a penalty loop, and he wasn't that far behind Fischer's time. So Rotman, if he can just get in the top 10, could be a threat in the pursuit. But Svend Fischer, look at this time, 25.44 to beat. He's still way inside that. It was 26 seconds at the last count.
Yeah, Germany are going to be 1 and 2, but have to keep in mind that these men have gone very early, and everybody will know that. So the likes of Bjørndalen and maybe Frode Andersen, they're going to have the knowledge of exactly what they need to do. But nonetheless, they've still got to match that sort of marksmanship.
24.4, so he lost a couple of seconds over the closing stages. Rikko Grosс, we've seen him turn it up over the last 500 metres before. He's quite a good sprinter. Svend Fischer doesn't fall into that category. Майгуров, a real threat.
10 out of 10 if he gets it. And he's got 10 out of 10, so it's all down to skiing. And here, Frode Andersen, well,
what's he going to do today? You never know with this man. He's a bit of a joker on the tour. One day he produces absolutely the fastest ski time, and then it all goes wrong in the range. The next day he's not so quick on the skis and he shoots well. But the news is that Frode Andersen has really changed his attitude here in Solt-Lейк-Сити, and he's become patient on the range. He will wait. He knows he's fast enough to win medals. The question is, will he do it?
So Svend Fischer in the lead, Rikko Gross's teammate, and Patrick Mark G home in 28 minutes 57.8, but of course virtually a minute of that because of penalty loops, 2 of them at the first visit to the range. Jason Sklenar, he's on his way, and also Michael Dixon out on the course.
All out on the course. Well, we'll talk about the British team and their performances so far this year, but this could be a crucial part of the race. 18.15, the leading time after 2 shoots. Oh, there's the first miss for Poiret. He's got to hit the rest. He must hit the rest if he wants gold. Oh, it's all gone wrong. Poiret, who really wasn't feeling happy in the individual race, he said he felt very heavy, and we likened his performance to that of Per Elofsson. I don't think he's fully recovered. It's so seldom we see him miss 2 in the standing, and Poiret has thrown away his chance of taking a gold medal in an individual event in these Olympic Games. That's maybe a little early to say that, because the pursuit's still coming, but 2 penalties is going to put him out of the top 4 or 5, and it's going to be a major chase.
Now Suman, first visit to the range here.
He's very quick. Now 20 seconds or so to complete the shooting from sticks down to sticks up, but he's taken a long time to get that first shot ready. Let's hope that preparation pays off. A little hesitation. Good rhythm on the last 3 shoots from Suman, and that has saved him. It's kept him in the race, certainly. He knows he's quick enough to win medals if he goes clear, but he's going to be quite a long way behind Svend Fischer, currently in 2nd place with 7.42. He's going to have, 15 seconds to make up on the leaders, and the Austrian now has no option but to shoot clear.
Michael Dixon going ahead of Suman, wearing bib number 53. Clean shoot, so better start for Michael Dixon. 8.39 is running time through the first section.
So he's almost a minute down after the first shoot, and Dixie, I think his best days of skiing have long gone, but he's been a great servant. His shooting on his day is still as good as anyone. But look at those after the first shoot. Poiret leading, but we know he has made mistakes on the 2nd shoot. Well, here comes the world champion again. What do you think of the time?
Not bad, but he can't afford to make any mistakes.
Absolutely.
Now.
Must go clear. Remember, Fisher missed one shot. That's an indication of how well he's skiing. That was so close. The ricochet taking the target down. 2 out of 3. Very fortunate for Rostovtsev. One more to go. Oh, it's way. Well, I think that's a little bit of justice, in fact. 2 very wide shots. The final one, thrown high left, snatching at it. And Rostovtsev pays the price. His chance of gold has gone. He will not match Fisher's time. Майгуров, a good run.
Yes, if you compare Fisher through the first shoot as well. Just pause here for Майгуров. Good effort, 10 out of 10. Just hasn't got the speed. I was going to give you the comparison. Fisher through the first shoot and clean at 7:42.4, and Rostovtsev through at 7:57.1. So it just shows you, Fisher was always travelling ahead.
Now look at this time, 7:10 on the clock. Frude Andrason, who's finally got his prone shooting sorted out. Let's hope that's not a little case of commentator's curse, but I have been impressed. Watch how he follows through on each shot now. It's uncharacteristic, but he's finally learned his lesson. Oh, great stuff. Andrason is in the race. Gold medal chance again, but it's going to come down to the standing shoot. He failed the last time he was in this position. Will he succeed this time? Well, the tables are turned on Ulе-Éinar Bьёрндален because, of course, Bjorndalen starting second of the 2 Norwegians in the sprint event, whereas he went first in the prone. And right on cue, here he is.
Yes, this is the big moment. He is the defending champion. He's got a gold medal here. Norway, who started slowly at the Olympic Games, now gathering in the gold steadily.
Well, not a good day for the French in the biathlon events.
Not a good day, I'm afraid, for Jason Sklenar from Great Britain, Patrick. 2 shots dropped at the first visit to the range. Gives him a time of 9 minutes 10.8. And that's very painful.
It really is very disappointing. Ian Woods will be very disappointed with that. Jason was our best hope of a good position. He's been skiing very well and would have had a top 20 if he'd gone clear in the individual, but that didn't happen. He missed 3 shots in all, and he's missed targets again. So great disappointment. And the British Sklenar finishing in 48th in the individual. Mike Dixon 79, Mark G 81. It really isn't the sort of results we were after, and surely we can get someone through in the top 60 of this event.
Well, we know what the wife can do. What about the husband?
Well, there's your answer. It's the prone shooting that has let him down, like Anderson over the years. 3 out of 5. He did exceptionally well in Orsby just before Christmas. He got a 2nd place in the sprint event there. I'd nailed my colours to the mast. I thought Henrik had got his first ever World Cup win, but it was Christoph Suman who came through to deny him in the last 500 metres of that event. Forsberg, though, taking 2nd place, and suddenly Sweden believed they could get a husband and wife double, but it doesn't look as though that's going to happen.
Well, we were actually the more favoured double would have been Liv Greta Påre, Liv Greta Schellberg Påre, and her husband Рафаэль, and that isn't going to happen, or it doesn't look as if it's going to happen anyway.
Well, it's not going to happen in the sprint, but Påre, if he can stay within a minute of the winner here, then he'll have a chance, and I don't think he's going to be much more than 35-40 seconds down on certainly Fisher's time. We don't know who's going to win. If Anderson goes clear again, he could be another 30 seconds ahead of Fisher. How does, you're on the computer there, David, Anderson's time at the first checkpoint after that first shoot compared with Svend Fischer of Germany, who we know has gone
4 seconds slower.
4 seconds slower. So Fischer is flying, but he has missed a target on the 2nd shoot. So there's still a chance for Anderson.
Yes, but Anderson's got to match the shooting as well as the skiing speed.
Well, Fisher's time has already come and gone. 25:20 will stand. Poiré now trying to move into 2nd place ahead of Rikko Gross. That's going to be a very tight call, but the Germans looking fairly smug there in the finish. They've produced 2 very good runs.
Yeah, well, they haven't won the title since 1992 in Abbeville, and Mark Kirchner was the champion for them, so perhaps they're thinking that this is going to be their day. They've had, of course, 1 championship gold medal thanks to Andrea Henkel, and she's got a chance of a double coming later in the day. But Pуаре. Now here's your newcomer to the German team. First Olympics.
Second shoot. Absolutely great form in Antols Antiselva, the last round of the World Cup, but I'm sure that Greiss isn't going to win with a missed shot.
Well, that's his second miss, because as a result of the first miss, he was 8 minutes and 3 seconds off the pace. Now that would put him at something like 18 seconds behind Fischer.
Well, watch the clock here. 3:47 Andresen's time, and Bjørndalen, he's not that far, he's not ahead at all. He's going to be a little behind on the first of the checkpoints. It could be that Bjørndalen has learnt the lesson of Per Eilefsson. He's certainly learnt a lesson from the 30-kilometre and just started a little steady. We could see him build speed. The other question is, of course, is he now tired? He's already done 2 extremely long races. How much has he got left for the sprint event?
Here comes Rostovtsev, I should say. The one shot. If you take 30 seconds off, that would have been 24:45 as he comes round towards the finish now, past the time of Svend Fischer. So Rostovtsev.
Well, he's not going to add the Olympic title to his world title quite yet.
Absolutely not, but it'll just be interesting to see his time when he does cross the line here, to see what that one missed shot would have cost him. And it wouldn't have been quite enough. 25:50.
Well, 29 seconds down, but don't forget he's also the world champion in the pursuit event. And although he's got to come from behind this time, if you can win a title in the pursuit, it proves you have the mind. It's a very different ball game when they start head-to-head. And Rostovtsev is so calm when he comes in to shoot. So he's certainly a name for medals. He's in a good position here, but 29 seconds down on Fischer at the moment.
But look at Wolfgang Rottmann's 2 missed shots. But for those, he would be leading at this moment.
They've done it again. They have done it again. They've produced their best ski form right at the biggest stage of the season.
Pуаре, but for the 2 missed shots, he could have been there.
Yes, but he's quite a way down now. Big moment for... this doesn't look like Christoph Summen at all. It looks more like... is it Bjørndalen hiding behind the...
Summen at the top.
Hannavold it must be.
Yeah.
Bjørndalen, that would have been a quick ski. I think he's still out there. He's on his approach for his first shot. And a good steady shoot from Hannavold. And although he's not as quick as the likes of Fischer, he is very quick in the range. He was the quickest marksman in the individual race, but he's a very steady shot as well. And he's already placed 4th. In fact, if my memory serves me right, Hannavold took the bronze in the World Championships in this event.
So Summen going out at the end of his 2 rounds of shooting and 2 missed shots, very expensive. And Michael Dixon, just to keep you up to date with him, Patrick, 1 shot missed, so he's actually got 9 out of 10. He's come out of the range, his running time's 20:45.
But he's still a way behind. If he can get top 60, he'll get a start in the pursuit event. I think that will be his aim for the day, as we see Sashurin. Is he going to clean up? Yes, he is. Good run from Sashurin. 18:15, he's way behind that, but he could go into the top 5, and if he's feeling good, then Sashurin could make a charge and claim that position of Rikko Gross in 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting. Again, give you a comparison between him and Fischer. 18:38 leaving the range there, Sashurin. Well, there it is, 22 seconds. I don't have to work it out. It's there for you.
Now, this is Bjørndalen. You recognise the glasses, the headband. It's the same every race he's in. The 5 pro must go down. Fischer cleared them. Andresen cleared them. And Bjørndalen's joined them. Is he on the way to a double? Well, he'd be the first man to achieve that since Frank Peter Roach. I think it must have been 1988, the Calgary Olympics. It was. I was there. And what a day that was. But Bjørndalen has started in fine form. 5.1 seconds behind the leaders, but still that standing shoot. And don't forget that Fischer missed one in the standing. Andresen missing his first shot. Can't afford another miss. Oh, it's gone again. He missed 3 in the individual. He's missed 2 in the sprint, and that could be another chance of a medal gone. But watch the time, 18:15. 2 penalty loops to ski. He's going to be on course for a medal.
And as Froude goes out, we'll soon have news of Jason Sklenar, of course, who was wearing bib number 61, just finishing off in the range. But it's not good news, I'm afraid. It's 2 more drop shots, I'm afraid, Patrick. And that makes 4, only 6 out of 10.
Well, there's Svend Fischer doing interviews already. I hope they're not victory ceremony interviews. He'll know well enough that Andresson could pull something out the bag on the last 3.5 kilometres, and Björndalen has gone clear on the prone and is still to come in for the second shoot. Wolfgang Perner, another Austrian who's skiing well, and he's clear at the moment. 2 to go. Yes, he's gone clear. So the Austrians now have 3 in the top 10 after the second shoot, and they're really making their mark. That is going to be some relay team.
Yes, he's going out there, Wolfgang Perner, and he's really in with a chance. No question, he's right on time.
Welcome back to Soldier Hollow. This men's 10-kilometre sprint really building to an exciting climax now. 14.8 the difference between Perner and the current leader after 2 shoots, who is Fritz Fischer, Svend Fischer of Germany. They produce one Fischer after another, but it's Sven who's leading at the moment, and Oleg Rishenkov of Belarusia. Now, the Belarusians better known for their success in team events, but often produce odd surprises.
1 or 2 other important names I can bring you up to date with, Patrick. Zdeněk Vítek for the Czech Republic through the first round of shooting clean in 8 minutes and 7.4. That compares with Sven Fischer's 7.42. So clean but slow. What
about Hayatalahti of Finland? As we watched his teammate Purinen come in to finish, he's going to be outside the top 5. There he is down in 8th. Hayatalahti, who was their best hope, I think, for this event.
Well, his shooting was good. He was clean at both visits to the range, but 8.11 after the first visit to the range, 19.05 as he left the second time, and 26.43. So that's 1:23 behind Sven Fischer as a finish time. Just not fast enough.
He's behind, and Michael Greiss coming in 58 seconds down. He's missed 2 targets. Take 50 seconds off that, and you can see that Michael Greiss really is world class, and he is going to be the next generation of German biathletes. This is the man that the Americans were hoping was going to claim a medal, and he is, of course, a former junior Olympic sprint champion.
But he's dropped a shot at the first visit to the range there, and that doesn't by any means help his cause. Jay Hakkinen, though, 8.21. You see, he was almost almost 40 seconds down on Fischer when he left the range.
Now, I've just seen the results after the second shoot, David, and Rotman is down in 11th place, and he's pulled himself up to the top 3 or 4, and so that's an incredible ski over the last 3.5 kilometres, and just an indication that the Austrians, who are going well in the cross-country, are absolutely flying in the biathlon as well.
Yeah, it suggests that they've really acclimatised, they've worked out the altitude, and they are in very good order, as you say. Jarno Prance, another man who's worthy of a mention here, but sadly it's not good news. Dropped a shot at the first visit to the range, 2 more mistakes the second time, and he's finished in 27 minutes 29. So very disappointing for the Latvian, the Estonian, I should say.
I think Sven Fischer's going to find all these interviews more exhausting than the race. He's still the top man at the moment. 22.46 is time at the next checkpoint. This could be interesting, but I think Frode Andresen has found himself a little bit too far behind. It's only going to be a matter of 5 or 6 seconds for Andresen, but he's some man. Look at him power up this hill. This is the steepest part of the course, and he's making it look easy. Oh, it's fantastic.
But he's past the time now, Sven Fischer, and he's a long way from home. So, you know, you've got to look at that and say, well, even if he'd got those 2 shots, which would have saved him a minute, would he still have beaten Svend Fischer? Well, I don't think so.
Well, I think you may be right. He's going to be just over 20 seconds behind Svend Fischer as he comes through, and we saw Bentascori take 10 seconds off Danilova in the last 1.2 kilometres. He's got 24.2 seconds to make up, but most of it's downhill, and he is not going to claim gold, I don't think. But he's gone ahead of Gros, and he's got a 2-second advantage over Fischer's teammate. So it's looking good for a medal position for Andresen as he comes in. But watch Perner.
Well, look at this. This is really interesting because you can see here that Perner is really on course there in second place at the moment to Svend Fischer. Obviously, it's not conclusive with the likes of Bjørndalen still out on the course, but Perner arguably having the race of his life at the moment.
Well, the Norwegians are starting to get used to the Austrians coming past them in the closing stages. So does your money lie with Perner or Andresen on that one?
Perner.
He's got a 5-second advantage. He's accelerated from the range. I think you may be right there, but it is a major surprise because Perner, all the way through the season, has been over a minute slower than Andresen. So it's a remarkable change in form that can't be ignored. Wow. Speaking of the, sorry David, but the British performances so far this year, you've seen down outside the top 50 in the individual races, 2 of them down in the 80s. It really isn't the sort of form we're expecting. We're really hoping for greater things this year.
Katarina Usi performed pretty creditably in the individual event. Sorry to cut in, I was just focusing on that. But
sure.
No, I mean, I'm not sure where British biathlon goes from here on in.
It is a difficult one. Where do you put your finger? Is it the finance? I don't think it's all the finance. I think you've got to look at the pool of biathletes, the pool of skiers that we have to draw upon, and it's minuscule compared to Norway and Germany. That's certainly the case. But then you look at Estonia, and they've only got a population of 1.5 million, and they got a gold and a bronze in the men's cross country, so it doesn't always affect it.
Well, I think it's also a question that British biathlon is so related to the military that it's difficult for people who are not involved in the army to get involved, and I think that's the way to make the step ladder for people to get on to. People who are sitting at home watching this and thinking, oh, I would really like to do that. It's very difficult, and maybe it's a question of going to some of the ski schools like Stams and Lillehammer to start your career.
Andresen coming in and losing an extraordinary amount of time over the closing stages. Now that is not good for the Norwegians because it could mean they've got the skis wrong. Andresen losing a massive time, going from 2nd down to 6th. Perner on the other hand has gone the other way, but Gross's time of 25.44. Oh, it's just survived. 0.2 of a second between them, and Austria are in a medal position. It's silver at the moment, but there are still 2 Norwegians out there. Here is the first of them, and Bjørndalen heading down towards the range as we speak. Hannibal, will he go clear? Yes, he will.
He will indeed. But again, it's all about ski speed. Now Bjørndalen. Well, this quite simply
5 for gold.
Yeah.
4 for gold. 3 for a race.
Look at the rhythm. He's absolutely in the groove. 5 out of 5.
Immaculate, absolutely immaculate, and Norway can start to smile, but just remember what happened to Andresen over the closing stages, because Andresen lost a massive time, and if he's got the same wax as Bjørndalen, then Bjørndalen is going to be slow back down into the stadium as well. Watch the split time.
Well, that's the difference. He's 30 seconds up now. Now, interestingly enough, at the first visit to the range, he was only 4th fastest, 7:46. Now, that compared with Fischer's 7:42 and Wolfgang Perner 8:03.
Well, it is fantastic, and we mentioned Frank-Peter Roach, who did the double in 1988, and actually had an email in from Zeko Zekner, and he was asking, has anyone ever cleared up and got all 3 positions, not in the Olympics, but strangely enough, going all the way back to 1980, one nation has won 2 of the medals. It was Norway in Nagano, it was Russia in Lillehammer, it was Germany in Albertville, Russia again in 1988 in Calgary. But the only time there's been a clean sheet with all 3, it was Germany in the World Cup back in Kontiolahti back in 98. So there you have it, a little bit of trivia for you. The trio on that occasion, Wustenfeld who won it, Gros and Fischer in second place. Gros and Fischer up in the top 3 at the moment, with Fischer leading, but Bjørndalen on Soldier Hollow. The climax now is really upon us. Bjørndalen heading towards the range. I don't think there's anyone else in the field who is going to threaten. Here comes Marco Dollens, who's gone clear, and it's not a bad time. He's gone past Bjørndalen's time, but he could be heading for a top 10, and that would be a very good start in the pursuit event. So the Slovenians would have someone to cheer in the second round of this double event.
It's not all been good news, though, for Germany. Frank Luck, not a good day at the range. He dropped 2 shots, 26 minutes 47, so well out of it. Nowhere near the skiing speed of teammate Svend Fischer.
Now, David, we've got Bjørndalen on course for the finish line. He's got 30-second advantage. We've mentioned the fact that the Norwegian skis might be not going too well, but we haven't mentioned the fact that Fischer and Gros started in the first 10 of this race. That was over an hour ago. Now, Bjørndalen, starting number 81, right at the back of the course, has definitely got softer conditions, and he's also got warmer conditions, so that could be a crucial factor as well.
Well, maybe that trail is slower, but I still think 30 seconds should be enough under normal conditions to get him home in front.
Normally he's 30 seconds behind and he makes up the ground, but I can't see him losing 30. But we have to sort of be aware of the external factors, because there is a certain amount of luck involved in this biathlon event. The wind in the range, for instance, and the change in the snow conditions as the race goes on. See America with 2 in the top 22 at the moment. Germany, Thiele in 22nd, and Jay Häkkinen 4 or 5 places above him as he came out for the second time.
Schenkov, the last man to start.
Chance of a medal. Just hit 5.
So Roshenkov just compares it. Fischer, well, let's look at Perner. Perner came out of the range at 18:30.6.
And Roshenkov isn't going to be too far behind that, but Suman was flying. We know Rotman was going very well. And how's he doing? It's so close between second and 6th. And see Rikko Gross way down there. And I don't think there's any doubt that the conditions were faster earlier on.
Well, that makes Perner's run all the more incredible, because Perner, with a starting number of 63, or was it 60? Yeah, 63. I mean, that counteracts what we've just been talking about. He must have fantastic skis. That's all I can say.
Well, Fischer making his way towards the finish line just to watch Ole-Einar Bjørndalen, and he's been beaten by him on a huge number of occasions. He's also had the better of Bjørndalen on a number of occasions. Remember, the gap was 30 seconds, and Bjørndalen doesn't look to have lost any. In fact, he's made up ground, and Norway's greatest biathlete is heading home for the double. Well, he could have a fall. I suppose we've got to take that into account. But, in fact, I was going to say it doesn't happen very often. He did exactly that in the World Championships in the mass start, head-to-head with Рафаэль Пуаре. And Bjørndalen lost his concentration, and he fell. And that certainly cost him the gold medal on that event. Surely it can't happen now.
Well, 18:15.8 was Fischer's time as he left the range. 17:45.2. They're going to nurse, they're going to look after Bjørndalen as he starts to motor up this hill. And look at him, he looks still pretty good to me.
Well, he's still going for the much harder of the 2 techniques, and it doesn't look so fast, but this man gets an incredible amount of glide on each stride he takes. He's a very slight figure. We've mentioned that on a number of occasions, but somewhere he finds this immense power, and he just goes past you like a locomotive, and heading surely now for first position and his second gold medal of these games.
I think Svend Fischer knows that the writing's on the wall. Here he is, you were talking about him, he is just 1.79 meters tall, 66 kilos, lives in Trondheim, born in Drammen, and the Olympic sprint champion of 1988, Ulе-Éinar Bjåndalen.
All the hard work done now, and for his credit, it was done on the range. This is exactly how he started the season in Hogfilsson in the beginning of December. He went clear on the first sprint race of the season. He finished 1.5 minutes clear of anyone on that occasion. It's a much tighter affair here in Solt-Lейк-Сити, but he's shot clear again, and he's always said and he's always known that if he goes clear, he is the #1 man to back. Heading in, 34 seconds advantage at the last count, and the Norwegian flags start to flutter as he comes into the home straight. 80 meters now for Bjåndalen, heading home. 25:20 the time he's after, and he's cruising. The smile is there, hidden beneath the phlegm, but he will be burning with pride inside. 2 golds now wrapped up, and he secured it. 24:51. He's lost a little time, but that doesn't matter a jot. He's clear. He's done the double, the first man since Magnus Solberg in 1972 in Sapporo. He's done the double and defended his title as well.
Well, an absolutely brilliant performance, but you've really got to say that he made it secure on the range. 10 out of 10. Fischer, one shot drop, that might have cost him the gold medal. Perner, absolutely fantastic. That 10 out of 10 has earned him the bronze medal, and Rikko Gross still looking for that individual gold. Look how close it was between Perner and Gross.
He will die.
I mean, that is wickedly cruel.
But Perner, of course, with the advantage of starting second of those two, he would have had time splits and he would have known it was close. Look at Poiret, 1:05 down. Is he out of gold medal contention now in the pursuit event? Because 1:05 is the time that he will start behind, of course, Ulе-Éinar Bjåndalen.
Zdeněk Vítek there, that one drop shot, 1:22.7. Disappointing for the Czech there, but he wouldn't have been fast enough. Reni Katarinanusi also simply not fast enough.
But no doubt about today's winner. He's done it twice now. He's won the individual and today secured the sprint gold medal as well. It's Ulle-Éinar Bjåndalen. Well, here he is getting ready to collect